What's up, Starcraft fans? Last time we did how to play level 1 Cigar, which was pretty difficult because level 1 Cigar sucks. This time we're going to do level 1 Vorazun, which is not quite as terrible, but it's still pretty hard because level 1 Vorazun really needs to get that one unit out. So for Vorazun, power spikes, we will have probably the biggest power spike for Vorazun, I would say, is the level 2 one. Like, the orbital assimilators allow you to harvest gas so much more efficiently because you don't need workers anymore. Like, just the ability to harvest the gas remotely. You can take a cheesy sneak expansion on some maps by putting a dark pylon and then putting the assimilator there, and you don't need workers. You don't need a nexus. It'll start harvesting right away. So this will unlock that ability. Not to mention, like, all the minerals you save from the workers that you would long need to put there. And 3 supply. So it's 3 supply per assimilator and 150 minerals per assimilator because of the 3 probes. So that's like 6 supply per base and 300 minerals per base. So this was massive. This one pretty good. This one kind of, yeah, if you're into stalkers. This was pretty good. Level 5 Dark Archon. This is for memes. Dark Archon is for memes unless you like going for mind control strategies, which is still a meme. But yeah, there are combinations like Bailey Scourge where you can kind of use the Confuse to make them attack each other. If you use Confuse over Bailings, it'll essentially count as mind control because they'll attack each other and then they'll explode. This one pretty massive. Dark Templar upgrade cache to allow your Dark Templar to blink across blink across short spaces, and can allow your forces to hop over cliffs and close in the distance to the enemy a lot faster. Not quite as massive as the level 2 one. The level 2 is massive. This one will make the Cloakius regen shields a lot faster, so it kind of helps the survivability of your Dark Templar. As long as you keep them alive after the engagement, they will regenerate faster. This one will make your black hole, level 8 will make your black holes a lot better by reducing the enemy's shields to 0. Also a massive upgrade. Like, all of these ones, 6, 7, 8, very good upgrades. Dark Archon upgrade cache for memes. 10, another huge one. Time Stop is one of the most powerful top bar abilities in the game. It's a global ability, it affects everyone. It's on a cooldown, so there's no energy base. There's no energy needed here. You can just use it every 4 minutes or 5 minutes at level 10, and probably the third most impactful Vorazun. You can see already that Vorazun really gets a lot stronger the more levels you unlock, and the more levels you unlock for her. 2 is still the most massive one. 10. Really good one. Like, yeah, 2, 10, big ones. Dark Pylon Recall, so allow your Dark Pylon Recall. This is great for mobility. You can allow your Dark Templar and basically your whole army to teleport across wide distances, especially useful for maps like Temple of the Past, where you bounce across 3 areas of the map with your entire army. So you can like fight, you said your entire army down one spot, but you'll not be out of position as long as you have a Dark Pylon ready to recall at another part of the map where the next action will start, and another Dark Pylon in the other spot. Yeah, Temple of the Past, missed opportunity is really good there. Dawn Vermilion maybe if you have in your base stuff. Rifts to Core Hall, Void Thrash, Dark Pylon Recall just massive. Fleet Beacon, this will allow your Corsairs to also get cloaked, and your oracles also get cloaked. So this one and 13, level 12 and 13 will allow your Corsairs to be able to fight more sustainably, because yeah, you need your Corsairs to cloak, and at level 13 your cloaked units will get Death Recall. So that's Dark Templar, oracles, and Corsairs once you get the upgrade. 12, 13, pretty big upgrades taken together. Level 14 just improves Time Stop. Pretty good upgrade, like, really good. But 10 is probably, just having Time Stop, very important one. 15 is just a buff, so when you're leveling Vorazun, you probably want to play normal difficulty at level 1. At level 2, once you get the orbital assimilators, maybe that's when you could bump it up to either normal or hard, depending on your preference. And then once you get level 10, that's what I would say when you could probably start taking on brutal on the solo queue. Unless you're really confident, and I think just watching the rest of this video will help you. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into the game itself. We will go on Malwarfare. Thank you to Legendary Cinder, who is supporting me in the Immobilization Wave tier, and Darth and Shadow Archon, who are supporting me in the Pulse Cannon tier. And thank you to all my supporters on Patreon. So, Brian, tell us. Brian, tell us map.
Malwarfare is the map where we have to escort Orana's transport as it purifies security terminals from a rogue AI. We win the game if she purifies all 5 terminals, but we lose if the enemies or suppression towers destroy the transport.
So, yes, as Brian said, Malwarfare, we have to escort this robot here. So this robot is the transport, that is Orana's transport, that will go all across this map, all around the map. It will purify these 5 huge terminals here to purge the system of the rogue AI.
Purifiers were born here, converted from the personalities of great war.
Anyway, so this is how to play Vorazun. So, pretty usual build for Protoss. Start your pylon at 14 supply, and then gateway right away. So the lesson this time for Vorazun is planning pays off. We'll apply all the previously learned lessons of keep making stuff, the one learned from Rainer. We will learn the lesson of use your top bars and heroes. No heroes here, but use your top bars, the ones learned from Kerrigan. We'll apply the lesson of pick and choose your fights, the one from Artanis. We will apply the lesson of control groups. I think we will use the lesson of control groups, the one learned from Swan. And from Zagara, yes, we will indeed have to scratch and claw our way to try and get the win. The lesson this time for Vorazun is planning pays off. If you have a good knowledge of the map, you've played Malwarfare on various different commanders, and you're trying Vorazun for the first time, and you are confident that you could take this on brutal difficulty, then you can indeed try this, but you need to plan meticulously so that you can do a good job here without necessarily counting on your ally. So yeah, the first 2 minutes 40 seconds have basically been wrapping up the Stargate. My Stargate started around 2 minutes, let's say 2 minutes 50 seconds. That's a pretty good time. I started second Stargate, so I'm not getting Dark Templar here. You can see I didn't even research Warp Gate tech, but I am putting on the pylon here. So this pylon is part of the plan. We'll need that to support a couple cannons here in front to help burst down the first few waves that are trying to attack Orana's transport. Also, because like the void rays are gas intensive, which is why I chose to go for mineral dump, which will be my so you can see the forge has started already. You don't need to start it at the same time I did. 4 minutes is a good time to start your forge. But yeah, have these 2 Stargates ready. I can produce anytime I have enough gas for it. Starting another pylon, just so I wouldn't get supply blocked. Planning. Paste the plan. So you can see I put this other Stargate out in front so that the Stargate will aggro all the enemies and I can clear out these guys easily. This time I'm soloing, which is why I can send these 2 guys here to take this expansion. But normally, if you're on this side of the map, you want to take this expansion because that's, you know, where your base is. This expansion belongs to this guy. So if you're starting here as player 1, or if you're starting here as Vorazun, you can very easily take this expansion. By the way, I set my Dark Templar here, my Shadow Guard, to clear out this section. Pretty important to clear that, if you're soloing at least. Yeah, I used the Void Ray to clear out those buildings. You can see the cannons already starting. These guys will protect that transport. You can see Void Rays getting in position. 3 cannons already started here to help protect the transport, as well as 2 Void Rays. So having this much stuff is critical in the first part. I do not want to use my my top bars yet. You can if you're running out of time, or if you have an ally who's slow to ramp up, but it's definitely ramping up. So they try to focus fire down this one at derp, make it easier for the rest. The reason you want to focus fire the derps is that you don't want to have 3 guys shooting at you at once. You want to lower that as quickly as you can. And if you have like 2 guys shooting at you instead of 3, your guys will have a better chance of surviving because it's just math. You want to eliminate the opponents one by one as quickly as possible by target fire. See, like I haven't lost anyone yet because yeah, I've been diligently focus firing down these derps as they try to destroy this camp I have over here. Probes just trying to destroy this. I sent the weakened Void Ray. Is trying to destroy this pylon. Yeah, I had to use a black hole here. There's a lot. That's a lot of derps. And then I resume focus firing. You go down right away. I did lose a cannon, but it could have been worse. I did focus fire 2 of them so that they will go more quickly. And see, I'm trying to micro myself here. So yeah, you gotta move these guys. So you can see I am trying to build my economy here, but I'm confident in controlling these Void Rays because again I have a control group. Here you can see control 3 is my Void Ray. Okay, that's kind of a sexy split. That was more technical, I guess, and a quick reaction, courtesy of slowing down the game speed. But yeah, it's pretty much what you have to do. So again, planning pays off. Instead of finishing off this transport or this suppression tower, by the way, this thing here is the suppression tower. It will stop. It will pause the progress of Orana cleansing the suppression or the terminal, as long as this thing's still alive. So we want to destroy this thing to continue our progress throughout the map. But take note that after every terminal, the transport will heal itself for 5,000 health. So meaning on brutal, your max health is 8,000. So you can let the transport go down all the way to 3,000 health. If this goes down to 3,000 health or higher, it will go back to full. It will go back to full health upon getting into the terminal because again it heals at 5,000. And here we go. I got 3,400 health. So once it's finished with the terminal, it'll heal us to 5,000. And that will go back to 8,000 full health. What delaying that did for me is that you can see these stargates are still spinning the whole time. That means I get to produce extra Void Rays. I just bought myself extra time without actually costing myself because again, the transport will heal itself for 5,000 health during this whole time. And yeah, you can see now that I have 7 Void Rays, which is a lot better than what I otherwise would have, like maybe 5 if I didn't delay that suppression tower. Pretty good. My planning is so far paying off. And on 2 base, Vorazun can support up to like 4 Stargates after you get your upgrades. You see +1 air attacks on the way. That's gonna be used by my Void Rays. Although I think there's a bug. I'm actually not sure. I think there's a bug that prevents the Void Rays from receiving damage buffs. I don't think it's the case. I think they do receive the upgrades. Third Stargate's on the way. Cleaning out these things. You can see now that I have 9 Void Rays. It's a lot easier to just clean out these defenses. I just clean them out. So you can see I'm going for the Immortals because the Immortals hit harder. I don't want the Immortals to start shooting down the transport. I can let this a lot. Again, more planning. I'm letting this a lot just wail away at this transport because it does only a little bit of damage, like 16 damage each. And that will allow me to, again, buy more time for more Void Rays and intercept this attack wave. while taking minimal damage on this transport. This is pretty useful. So again, planning pays off. Later on, there will become an attack wave. They'll walk down through here. So what I'm doing next is building a pylon here, and I'll build a bunch of cannons on this spot, so that my Void Race can continue fighting forward without requiring me to go back here to defend. So you can see I'm building more pylons here. I am a bit supply block, which is a bit unfortunate. I did lose a Void Ray there, that is true. However, I'm still mostly chugging along, cleaning out these bases, and again, letting this transport. The attack waves and suppression towers will not begin until the transport actually reaches the spot. So this is actually buying me time for a bit of health every time. There it is. It still has 6,500 health, but this whole map is cleared. The Immortals didn't shoot at least even once. You can see 3 Void Rays at a time in production, which is pretty good. You can see how I manage my resources as level 1 Vorazun. My Dark Templar can't really do a lot here. I don't have the blink on the Dark Templar. I don't have the Death Recall. So it's not that bad of a decision to go for a Void Race. And yeah, all my gas is going towards upgrades and Void Race, and the spare minerals that I have, because my income can't support extra minerals. Those extra minerals are going toward this bastion of defense here. A lot of pylons, a lot of cannons. The pylons aren't really necessary for defense, but they are necessary to keep myself from being supply blocked. Okay, you can see there's a bit of spell that you want to avoid this red circle here. That does a ton of damage, several tons of damage in fact. You want to prevent yourself from taking that damage. Just yeah, dodging that area. Yeah, you just dodge this area as best as you can. I'm moving these Void Rays back to intercept this attack wave heading this way. Meanwhile, still having these guys fighting the suppression tower. I used the black hole. I needed to use a black hole because I didn't have quite enough Void Rays here. So that bought time for the rest of my Void Rays to come in. By the way, I now have 21 Void Rays, which is pretty good. Still producing them 2 at a time, should be 3 at a time, although I don't think I had enough gas at the time. Alright. Now I'm producing them 3 at a time. So yeah, just keep producing them. And just keep microing around the suppression tower. Keep making more Void Rays. Just keep making them Void Rays. Just keep pumping them out. Just, yeah. The lesson here, I guess most of the lesson here is level 1. The level 1, or the first lesson. Just keep making stuff. Continue to make stuff. Just, as long as you have money, keep making that stuff. As long as you have money, yeah, as long as you have money, keep making. Just keep making stuff. All the gas I earn go to these Void Rays now, and all the minerals go into pylons and cannons. So you can see, yeah, this wave met my cannons. They're clearing that out. I have these Void Rays marching to this next spot. I wanted to focus on an Archon first, because that Archon deals splash damage. Splash damage is the #1 enemy of Void Rays. So my planning revolves around that. Later on, there will be 2 High Templar in this spot. Around this spot, there will be 2 High Templar and 2 big hybrid Dominators that can storm. I want to take those out as quick as I can, because you see how hard my Void Rays are clumping up. If I get hit once by a storm, it's gonna be really painful. You see, once again, planning ahead, sending this probe out here to start putting down the pylons there. You can see I use these Dark Templar to sneak around and try to snipe that High Templar. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work. I did eat a storm, which is really bad, but I did take out a lot of the enemies. I did take out that High Templar eventually, and that big hybrid, which is pretty important. You can see the transport is again being delayed by 2 Zealots. It's not small damage, but what this is doing is slowing down the progress of the transport, which gives me time to pre-clear this area. Again, planning pays off. So I just let those zealots wail away at transport, and then once it's getting low, I will run my Void Ray Sword here through this gap and the enemy defenses, and then clear out these 2 zealots. You can see now that I've cleared up this section, I can send my probe here and start cannons. Very important for level 1. You need the cannons if you're level 1. That's the only way to survive. You can see I'm up to 28. I did lose a lot of Void Rays in that engagement since I got stormed, but sometimes you just need perfect micro, which I don't have. But yeah, you can see this wall of cannons is gonna meet this force head on. You can see I'm trying to snipe the Air Forces first. I'm trying to fight the Phoenixes first, because the Phoenixes, if you finish off all these Stalkers and the Oracles, the Phoenix will just beeline your main base, and I don't have static defense here, so I sniped the Phoenixes first. You can see just Stalkers left. I used the black hole here to make sure that these guys all get killed. And yeah, just keep it. Just watch the production tab. It's always just about producing the Void Rays and the cannons. Just keep producing Void Rays. You can see I'm maxed out. I have 36. I didn't want to get into a battle of attrition here, so I used the black hole. I just wanted to I just wanted to get an advantage in my engagements. See, I took out this suppression tower. I did know it was going to spawn there because again, planning pays off. If the first tower spawns here, second one will always spawn here. So you just gotta know where the timings. I could link you to the Malwarfare page of Starcraft2comp.com if I remember. But yeah, Void Ray is pretty good. Last one will be here. You can see I'm already sending my forces there. You can see Probe is putting down these cannons. I used another black hole because I didn't want to engage that. That's a lot of army. I don't want to engage my army in a straight up unit to unit fight because Amon's units are free, and you don't want to. You don't ever want to engage free units with paid units because your losses need time to replenish. Amon just needs the next wave. So yeah, I'm putting down these. If you see, I'm gonna aggro these 2 zealots into my cannons. They're gonna do a good job. And allow this, this pro to start warping in these cannons over here. Start to read more. See, this area is really clear. So there's another big hybrid here and a High Templar at the rear. I actually want to take that out before it does anything. I didn't even lose a cannon. That was pretty nice. Ooh, that was a big storm. You can see I took tremendous damage here. I was maxed out earlier. I went all the way down to 144 supply because of the big hybrid. They kind of shifted around. While that was happening. So I split off these. I know there's a High Templar here, so I split off these 3 Void Rays to take care of that High Templar without risking my main force of like 17 Void Rays getting stormed because they were already stormed before. The last thing I want is for them to get finished off. So I actually want to clear out these areas here because regardless of what the pattern is, there will always be a suppression tower that spawns here. So I want to pre-clear this area. So it'll be easier. The tower that spawns here is either the first one of the set or the last one of the set. So you want to clear this area regardless. Sometimes there's a tower here, other times there's not. So there is a bit of a risk involved if you clear that. It could be unnecessary risk. I'd rather go for the sure bet that there definitely is something here. So clearing this is always beneficial. So another bit of planning. The attack waves either spawn here, or here. And since I have cannons here, and they confirm that there's no waves coming from here, and I have my Void Rays here confirming that there are no waves here, I can pretty much confirm, or I can pretty much be sure that the attack will be coming from the north, from this spot here. which is why I am sending my Void Rays back to intercept that. The cannons will not be enough. They're good for holding off the force, or stalling basically, until my main Void Ray force has arrived. You can see that it does indeed do the job. I am back to 23 Void Rays, and that's pretty good. But yeah, I need to get back the army that I've lost. With these Void Rays, yeah, it's really hard. I'm not saying you can do this this micro thing. If you can do this micro thing, you probably don't need my help with how to play Vorazun. But yeah, Void Race, I don't want to engage that. I don't want to engage that head on. So I use black holes to make sure that these are whittled down before they deal any good damage. Yeah, well, I just whack these guys. I am back at 26. Back into 26 Void Rays. And you can see I just keep rebuilding cannons. So this next tower here has defenses or guardians, escorts over here. And the suppression tower again is still preventing the transport, or last transport, from completing the purification. But oh, there was an attack later. So I apologize. I wasn't on top of it. But yeah, I am back down to 27. I did gain one. But like, I did lose some as well. It's only a net gain of 1. But yeah, I want to engage this with my whole army at some point. But first, I will draw a few of these guys. Just bait a few of them at a time, so that your army always has a bigger advantage. This is lesson number 3 for it. This is lesson number 3. This is Artanis lesson. Pick and choose your fights. You don't want to go in with your whole army, because you'll be facing this tower as well as this army, the entirety of it. So instead, I baited out a few of them. I baited a few of the enemies into my cannons and Void Rays, so that my Void Rays will always have a bigger advantage, and they can focus down and divide and conquer. So yeah, next tower will spawn here and here. I have cannons for both. These cannons will just be for stalling. I want to destroy this wave first. That's why my Void Rays are here. You can see I'm all the way back up to 30 Void Rays, which is pretty good. 31 now. I want to finish this thing off first. Then I have to fight anymore. And now for this set, I did lose the Void Ray, but I'm still at 31. You can see these cannons are kind of doing a bit of work. They're killing some stuff here. But the most important job they're doing is that they've split off. So you can see these oracles over here. Some of the phoenixes, some of the stalkers have pre-fought off somewhere else. And then back to 32 Void Rays, and these oracles are very much just here to distract. I built a nexus here to kind of soak up some more damage. Nexus is a lot of health. You can see I have indeed fought. That was the last suppression tower. All that's left is to kill off this attack wave that's incoming, and that's game. So I used my final black hole, clean out this attack wave, and that is game. Yeah, so you can apply all the lessons learned from the previous videos into this video. So like, again, lesson number 1, keep producing stuff. I was constantly producing Void Rays the whole time. Lesson number 2, you abuse your heroes and top bars. I was abusing the donuts out of black hole by taking out the Void Ray comp. The Void Ray waves are the difficult ones because they deal a lot of damage, so I took them out methodically. And lesson number 3, pick and choose your fights. That's exactly what I did against those suppression towers. I split them off a few at a time rather than engaging it all at once. Lesson number 4, control groups. I did use a control group. That's why I was able to send my Void Rays through that narrow gap without having the rest of my forces just attack, move into them, and get picked off. Lesson number 5, scratch and claw your way. That was a pretty close game. Like, I had to scramble to get to save the transport from those 2 zealots between the 3rd and the 4th terminal. And now the latest lesson, you gotta plan ahead to be able to secure the win. and that's what I did here. I put down. You can see I put down the cannons between the second and the third terminal, so that when attack wave came, I did need to run my void rays back. My void rays can continue doing their work while my cannons took care of the attack wave. Besides, the cannons were all just mineral dumps because the void rays are mainly gas bottlenecked, so you'll be floating minerals. So I just use that mineral float to make cannons. And yeah, that is the thing. Oh, planning ahead. Yeah, I was well aware that those 2 High Templar and those 2 big hybrids were gonna make my day really bad. So I kind of made a point to go there early, like really early, to try and pick them off with minimal losses. You can see I even split up 3 Void Rays to snipe down that High Templar to save the rest of my Void Rays. That is really big. That allowed me to get a really big force with still respectable health. And that is how you play Vorazun level 1. I will see you guys next time for Carax. Ooh.